vampire in The Lost Boys. Spoiler. He does a really good job. He has this voice that's kind of equal parts comforting and grandfatherly and absolutely terrifying. And yeah, I have to admit, like, yeah, the Tommyknockers is kind of... It starts really slow and weird. But if you're willing to stick it out, there's some really great stuff. Oh man, I read Pet Sematary and I was so bummed out. It's such a downer, man. It's just so deeply, deeply, deeply bleak and depressing. Oh hey, there's a bat fragment. I've never got one of those before. Looks like I've missed one already since that's number 2. Number 2. Trap, come on. I don't know about Cujo. I think I read it like all in one day at Disneyland, which gives you some indication of what a weirdo I am. And I liked it okay, I guess. It didn't do a lot for me. I like the way that the opening of the novel kind of described rabies as this horrible ghostly force hiding in a cave. And kind of, I don't know what the right word would be, not humanized, but it sort of made it seem like an actor, like a real actor, like this horrible monster, and I thought that was really cool. But that was about the only thing I liked in the story. The rest of it was pretty much, you know, they're stuck in this one location, and what's gonna happen. Yeah, it didn't do a lot for me. I keep forgetting which buttons do what. Yeah, Cujo's really depressing. And the book actually ends on a worse note than the movie did, if you can imagine that. The book is just nothing but a gut punch. So what else? Yeah, they are remaking it, and apparently it's going to be 2 movies or something. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. They were talking about making the Dark Tower movies, and those never happened. I just hope it's not too true to the book, because the book is weird as hell. And not necessarily in a good way. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Oh, did I just alert somebody? Arg. Oh, that's right, I forgot they were going to remake The Stand. I'm a little curious about it. I would probably go see it. I don't really like The Stand, because I don't want to do spoilers, but I really don't like the ending. The literal Deus Ex Machina, I don't know, it bothers me. Okay. That's the run button. Don't forget it. Run button. Oh man, The Talisman was great. And yeah, I used to read so much Stephen King in high school. I didn't really like Black House, the sequel, that much, though. I mean, it was fine. I liked some of the characters, but the story was kind of blech. And it was just filler for the Dark Tower in the end anyway, and I guess the Dark Tower's fine, but yeah, the way that one ended, too. Ugh. Not this time, not this time. I don't remember the character's name in Black House, but I really liked the radio DJ guy. He seemed pretty cool. Everybody else, meh. I don't know if y'all have kept up with Stephen King lately. He's actually had some pretty good stuff recently, like the sequel to The Shining. It's not bad. It sounded like a terrible idea on paper, but it's not bad. And his newest one, Revival, I listened to that almost in one sitting. It was so good. It wasn't necessarily scary, it was just horrifying. Like, when you get to the end, you'll see what I mean, but it's just absolutely, absolutely horrifying. It's really effective. And that one, if you're interested in the audiobook, it's on Audible and it's read by David Morse. He's the guy who was the older Bobby Garfield in the Hearts in Atlantis movie, and he was also one of the guards in The Green Mile. I can't think of what else he's been in off the top of my head. Those are just the things I know him from. Oops, no, I don't want that. I want the torch. Oh, okay. There's the... Oh, I'm doing so well. Well, I mean, I was doing okay. I hadn't died in a while. What else? I don't know if there's... Oh, all the way back here? Really? That sucks. The worst. I keep pressing the wrong buttons. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other Stephen King that really affected me as much as Tommyknockers did. Oh yeah. Yeah, you got completely blown up. Do this again. Try to focus better. Oh no, it's not you, Yellow Stark. It's mostly me. Like, I'm using, like, weird personal definitions of them. And I should have elaborated. Like, for me, I guess, scary is more immediate, and it's more about, I don't know, like, either a present danger or a future danger to yourself. Whereas when I think of horrifying, I think of, like, existential, bleak, like things that completely change your outlook and just ruin you for the rest of your life. And that's what his most recent book, Revival, felt like to me. It's just horrifying. It's just, I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to spoil it. The whole book is building toward it, but it's pretty effective. If you have even the slightest interest, I really recommend it. Yeah, that's a great description of it, Deceptive Mirror. There's definitely a lot of that in the story too. And I've seen complaints about it that it's kind of long, it's a little meandering, like, it seems like there are things that don't serve the story, but in the context, I feel like it all builds up. You couldn't get the horrible ending you get if it hadn't been justified by all of that. So if you do decide to read it and it's not doing much for you, just stick it out for a little bit. I promise it'll get better. So I actually wanted to mention another scene that scared me from a movie called Lake Mungo, but I feel like that might be so obscure that a lot of people haven't seen it, and if you haven't, I don't want to spoil it for you. It may be on Netflix, I'm not sure, but yeah, I really recommend it. Oh, I want to talk about it so bad. There's some really great stuff, but yeah, I can't ruin that for y'all. It's too good to ruin. I kind of think of the Langoliers as a guilty pleasure. I kind of dug it. I think it got mentioned on the Awesome Games Done Quick stream during, what was it, Battle Block Theater. Somebody just made this random reference to the Langoliers and nobody else knew what they were talking about. It's kind of cute. But yeah, Lake Mungo. If you hadn't heard of that, try not to look anything up about it. Don't read too much. Just, you know, if you have some free time and nothing better to do, just give it a try. So I feel like it would kind of be spoiled by most descriptions. And it's just like this low-budget Australian movie, but it does one of the things I mentioned I loved earlier, which is, you know, it hides stuff in the background for people who are really paying attention and, like, really rewards that. And it has a scene that creeps me out. Every time I think about it, in the middle of the night, I get creeped out. So I can't wait to hear what people think about that. Lots more ammo. those are the ones off the top of my head. Yeah, I think we watched that on Horror Movie Night. I don't know what everybody thought of it, but I really loved it. I'm not really sure, like, what other effective scenes I could think of right now off the top of my head. I would have to come back, maybe do some thinking about it, take some notes. But I mentioned earlier that the Tommyknockers was one of the few books to scare me. There's actually been another one really recently. It just came out. It's by some new author named Nick Cutter. It's called The Troop. I think Ryan's read it too, and he really liked it. It's... I can't say too much again. It's about a Boy Scout troop out on an island for a weekend. They're completely cut off from civilization, and then this strange skinny man shows up on shore and everything goes to hell. And usually when I'm like listening to an audiobook or reading it, you know, I go along with it. I don't get too involved. In this one, while I was listening, I was like, oh no, God, no, please no, just stop. And the fact that it's an audiobook and it was just happening on its own and it was implacable was absolutely terrifying. There's some really horrifying scenes in that book. It's pretty gory, and I don't know, you know, if you can stomach that sort of thing, you might like it, but it's just a good story overall. It's really scary. He's actually coming out with another one soon called The Deep, which I don't know anything about, but it could be good. But yeah, Nick Cutter, I would totally recommend checking him out. I have to admit, I haven't actually seen Battle Royale. I know I should, but I haven't. Oh, right. Alright, this is farther than I've gotten before. I'm just getting distracted talking. It doesn't come very naturally to me to talk while playing games, so that's why there are the awkward silences and the dumb mistakes. Oh, bear traps. Okay. Where is a bear trap? Okie dokie. Yeah, more spare parts that I can turn into arrows for a crossbow later on. Which is great because there's a real scarcity of ammo in this game, more than Resident Evil, I would say. Aw, stream problems? That sucks. Not sure what could be going on. I'm still pretty new to this. I hope it's nothing on my end. Guess I can... Whoa. Take that bottle for now. I think you can lure the enemies into the traps and destroy them, but it's usually not worth it. You usually end up triggering it yourself and taking a lot of damage. And you miss out on the spare parts you would have gotten otherwise. It's been a really slow, ponderous chapter. We're getting there, we're almost done, I think. A lighthouse again. Anything hidden over here? Guess not. I could have sworn there was another guy over here, but I don't see him.